We're going to get started in just a few, just providing all of our guests a couple of minutes to make it home and get online. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We're super excited to have you all here and very grateful for Sarah leading another amazing workshop through MODA. I'd like to make a formal introduction for our facilitator tonight, Sarah Lawrence, who is a designer, illustrator, and creative technologist living in Atlanta. With her work spanning complex regional planning to branding new nonprofit initiatives, she has a knack for solving tough design-driven problems and has been featured in Fast Company, 99U, HLN, just to name a few. Sarah facilitates classes for TEDx, Design Madison, and MODA 2. She's definitely a friend of MODA, and we're so proud and happy to have her here facilitating this amazing workshop tonight with Build Your Own App. And welcome. And I'd like to give the floor to Sarah to introduce what we'll be doing tonight. Thanks so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's really cool to be doing a workshop with MODA. I saw some comments that the music are like kind of welcome music, so I'm glad that was appreciated. So hello, I am Sarah Lawrence, and I'll be teaching this workshop this evening. All right. Before I get started, I feel like I have to do the requisite. Can everyone see my screen? Because I think the answer is yes, but I feel like I'm never quite sure. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm going to try kind of a hybrid screen share because when I do full screen Keynote, it just like blocks out everything. And I feel like I need to see the chat, be able to talk to y'all, and maybe share the browser window and stuff. So you're going to see all my little Keynote stuff at the top. So just a little heads up. Welcome to No Code Progressive Web Apps, or just we like to call them apps, with your host, me. So just a little bit about myself. I went to school for graphic design. I did not go to school for, any sort of computer programming. I do not know how to write code at all. The most I can really do is like kind of an extrapolation on the kind of LiveJournal, Neopets, HTML, CSS stuff that I was doing in the early 2000s to like make my blog and my shop look really cool. So I can definitely like understand a lot of like HTML, CSS code stuff, but I just don't know how to, I just can't write it. I can't just be like me and just type it all out. And I definitely went back and forth on that, as someone who works in often like a technology field, like, should I know how to code? Is it bad that I don't know how to code? And I think the answer is no, and then no, in that order, both no. So, I mostly, what I do in my work is try to find interesting workarounds for this problem. Either, stuff like I'm going to talk about this evening, different like visual builders on the internet. I just sort of love to kind of circumvent this problem and just get to the thing in a different way that I wasn't expecting before. So I know just enough about coding and logic and stuff like that to get myself in trouble. And as a fourth thing about me, that will become, the reason will become clear in just a minute. I love Google Sheets. I'm obsessed with it. I do, as a graphic designer, I do a lot more work in Google Sheets than you would think. So really quick, this evening, the topic of the app, or the type of app that we'll be building, is a neighborhood guide. And I would love if y'all could share in the chat whether you're here to specifically build a neighborhood guide, or if you're here to build something that maybe riffs on that concept a little bit, or just if you could just let me know in the chat kind of what you're looking for this evening. And I will give you all a few minutes and I will turn the music back up. Yeah. Very cool. Thanks all for responding so quickly. I appreciate it. Also, just want to make sure, do y'all recognize the soundtrack that I've been playing as the wait and pause music? Okay, I think that specific song actually was from It's Always Sunny. What I love to play at the beginning of every workshop I ever teach is the music of SpongeBob, because it's just, you know, vibey and is nice. All right. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about our different apps. So I definitely see a mix of things in the chat. I see, you know, neighborhood apps in particular. I see, you know, riffing on things, you know, all kinds of examples. And then, you know, what we learned this evening will definitely just teach you how to build an app in particular, or in general. If you are interested in, you know, these platforms and these systems and how these work, you'll be able to, even this evening, if you want to just like play around, try some stuff out, you'll have the opportunities to do that. So we're gonna hop on in. And my dog is desperately off camera, hoping to be fed. So hopefully she gets dinner in a minute. Okay, so just as sort of an overview on Google Sheets in particular, because it's such a cool tool. One of the things I love about Google Sheets, or many of the things I love about Google Sheets, and this will all make sense in a minute, is first of all, it's free. It's free. It's, in my opinion, just as powerful as Excel. It's web-based, so it's really easy to collaborate, share with people. You know, if you've used Google Sheets before, you probably know all this already. One particular thing that I love about Google Sheets that's different from other things I've seen is that it is also, it can also be anonymous. And so I've seen a lot of really interesting work being done kind of in nonprofit and like support spaces where, you know, people can have a whole, like an anonymized spreadsheet of their salary so they can talk about their wages and wage equality and stuff like that. And it's much more difficult to track down who that was in case of any like repercussions or issues like that. So it's a really cool kind of egalitarian way to share information. And also I just love doing all the little snippets, like all the different functions and stuff like that that make it work really cool. So some examples of Google Sheets that I love. This one is the Zine directory, coordinated by Chicago Zine Fest. This one keeps track of 200, probably more now. I've been doing this, taught this before, at least 229 different zinesters, both in Chicago and elsewhere. It has their name, what type of creator they are, you know, where they are, what they do, how to support them. And this is sortable, so I can just sort by creator type. I can search, you know, I can include links. It's like a really multimedia friendly tool. They are using, I mean, to create this, it's a directory, like it's a whole resource. It's very full of data. It's very full of content. It's using Google Sheets and Google Forms. People can sign up to be added to the spreadsheet, and then they're on the spreadsheet, and then it becomes this hub for information. There's also a spreadsheet that I like called the Big Artist Opportunities List. And so this has at least 414 opportunities for residencies, for fellowships, for, you know, just all kinds of things that might be useful to artists. And again, like this is such a rich source of information for artists, for people who are maybe considering building fellowships and residencies, you know, just how thorough this is invaluable. They are also, their thing is funny, the way that they submit their they're like public facing spreadsheet with all of the curated lists are in Google Sheets, but then there's also like a different Google Sheet that's like publicly editable, where you can just sort of add your stuff, and then if they want to add it to the main one, they can do that. So it's kind of an interesting like onesie twosie the way that they add new opportunities to this list. There's a really great spreadsheet for Black-owned farms and gardens and agricultural organizations, using art from one of my favorite video games. And again, this is like a huge, huge hub of different farms, organizations all around the United States, organized by region, organized by what they sell, who they are, information about them. There are over 318 lists or entries on that spreadsheet. And it's such a good way to see a wide range of resources. I mean, even just this list in Healthline that was 6 Black-owned farms and CSAs doing revolutionary work, that's still only 6. So I think none of them were in Atlanta or in Georgia or in the Southeast. And so it's like, if I'm in one particular area and this like high level article does not reach me, I still have access to this information. And so I love seeing that sort of democratized way of spreading resources. This is a closer zoom of what that spreadsheet looks like. But the thing about these spreadsheets is they have 200, 300, 400 things on them. And it's like, the thing about Google Sheets is it's not very mobile friendly. Looking at a spreadsheet on your phone just sucks. There's really not a good way to add pictures, to add additional content, add calls to action, different things you can take, different things you can do. At the end of the day, it really is just like a supercharged list. So, the source of any of these good apps definitely starts with the data, but it doesn't end there, which is where we enter in progressive web apps. And so just as like an overview on kind of what this means, because this is a new thing, I was going to say in the beginning, but apps were not there in the beginning. But, as long as we have had smartphones, we have had apps for them. And the thing about mobile apps is they are, like a Spotify or a Instagram or whatever, like TikTok. Any app that you download from the App Store is going to be pretty big. It's going to be, at least a few megabytes, if not much bigger. It's going to take up different amounts of memory, different amounts of resources. They're kind of big, they're kind of clunky. To put any of these apps in the App Store, you must go through an approval process through either Android or Apple. That can take a long time, that can be expensive. These apps in general are very expensive to build. A lot of them do really specific things, and then they need to be custom built. So they, that costs money because people should get paid to do their work, but they are expensive to build. Even just the base framework can be very costly. And then it can just require double the work because you are essentially rebuilding the wheel when you're like, I'm going to do, I have a similar concept. I want to do it a little bit different, but I want to make it my particular way. You have to kind of build the app over from scratch. You don't need to do that. Web apps are kind of in this gray area, at least to me, because I'm someone that produces and designs a lot of web apps these days. I think it might technically be the same thing as just like a website that does something cool, but there may be some sort of innate part of it that makes it app related. It's not just like a information resource, like a marketing tool. It has some sort of interactive thing that's part of it. There's one that I really love. I don't relate to it at all because I don't play hockey or really understand hockey besides, go that way or that way. But there's a really cool one online that lets you draw out hockey plays as if it was like on a dry erase clipboard. So you can do like your little draws and you add your little cones and you add your little thingies, and then you can like print the play or save it and stuff like that. And I just, that to me takes a website and pushes it a little bit farther. And they rely on the browser though. So, they rely on the browser. They are faster. They are, a little bit more speedy, a little bit more efficient. They do rely on the browser. So if there's no internet connection, that can be, no good. And so after these two things, we end up with, what is kind of a mix between the two. It's called a progressive web app. It's accessed via the browser. So you would access the app that we're going to build this evening, you would access it from the first time from your browser, but then you can use native features of your phone, like not contact forms, like email forms, like buttons, telling it to open up maps or telling it to open up different apps. Like you can kind of hack into some of this stuff that your phone can do. And so it looks and feels like an app, but it runs on any device. Progressive web apps, because they are originally accessed from the browser, they can run on any device that accesses really the internet. So, they work on Android, they work on iOS, they work on, it's a Pixel phone, I guess is Android. I'm gonna get corrected for that. But it runs on any device. And it's much cheaper to deploy because a lot of these, and the one I'm going to talk about this evening, has a lot of that like base functionality already built in. So you're just kind of building stuff on top of it. Okay, so some examples of progressive web apps that exist currently, because you might be like, well, this is some weird thing I've never heard of, but you may have interacted with it. So Starbucks has, or until recently had, a progressive web app that replaces their ordering system. So you can use this progressive web app to browse the menu, customize your order, submit an order. It's available without Wi-Fi because you have preloaded all of the different things that are available. And it's 99% smaller than the native app, which is huge. I mean, I have a bajillion apps on my phone, so I'm really trying to get that space back if I can. BMW has a digital press room as their progressive web app, which is very much just like a content hub. They have high resolution images and video, but because it's smaller than a website. It's like much less content, much less stuff going on. It loads 4 times faster than their website. And this is from this article that I was reading about it. It increased their clicks to the sales page 4 times. So it made it just like move faster, be better, accessible on any device. You can save it, you can browse through it. So it was a good thing for them. Flipboard, if you're familiar with Flipboard, it's a social magazine. And this is an interesting progressive web app because it works on desktop as well as mobile. So it kind of lives in 2 different ways, and we call this responsive. So you can use it on different types of devices, different types of screen widths, but it's still kind of pulling from this native browser approach. The nice thing about this one is it can be updated instantly, feature multimedia in a way that, like, if you were trying to just keep a list of all your favorite news articles from the week in Google Sheets, you would update it maybe the same way, but it would just be a lot more like multimedia forward and much more fun to engage with. Okay, this is a reminder for me, but it's also a reminder for you guys. Okay, we're not going to be coding, but we are going to be doing really, I mean, the thing that I think is maybe the hardest part to get about these, like building these progressive web apps, because I've taught this 3 different times, and each time, or the 3 previous times I taught this type of workshop, I just was like, here's how to build an app, and go nuts, whatever you want to do, this is our time to build it. And I think that was a little overwhelming because it's difficult to understand like what you have access to, what kind of resources you can use to build what kind of thing. People were coming up with like very cool but very complex versions of this system. So really what I want to drill this down into is like, can you think in a logical way and organize content in a way that people can access it? So what I want to do is take a deep breath and do a very quick logic puzzle. So I want you to read this riddle from like a logic perspective, and then take a second, think about it, read it, and then when you are confident in your answer, please share in the chat the number of ducks that are in this scenario. I agree. It's a good emoji. Okay, 6 ducks. Okay, the correct answer is there are 3 ducks. But I understand the 5 because of the way that's listed. So uh, 2 ducks in front of a duck, and then 2 ducks behind. I think the riddle is, I think the answer is an A duck. You know, like we haven't specified which duck. Like it's not like there are 2 ducks in front of a duck and then 2 ducks also behind those ducks. You know, it's a bit of a logic puzzle. I was actually going to put up some that I was like Googling, you know, fun logic puzzles to include for this. And some of them, it's like, I don't understand. But I'm just getting us in that kind of like logic mode to think about riddles and puzzles. Because really, if you think about it, coding is just a type of puzzle. Coding, you know, doing this kind of thing is a type of riddle. You know, if you like logic puzzles, if you like doing, you know, if you've ever messed around in Google Sheets and done like the little equals sum of the 2 columns or something and been like, wow, I just did math, you know, a lot of that will come into play this evening. So meet Glide. Glide is a platform for building, there's my dog, she's so sad, she can't eat. Glide is a platform for building progressive web apps. So let's say you've got this spreadsheet that is, you know, all these different types of products. We have like flowers, or I guess the one I've highlighted is like, you know, a particular type of mirror. It's a limited edition. It costs a certain amount of money. And you go like, this is my store. And someone goes, this is not a store. This is a Google spreadsheet. You go, okay, you're right. I'm going to turn this spreadsheet as is into an app. So what Glide is doing is Glide is pulling this information. You've told it, you know, you've assigned these columns, you've assigned these categories, you've told it where to go. And then now Glide is going, okay, got it. I'm going to put the things in the places and they're all going to be consistently applied. And then it's going to look like an app and it's going to function like an app. So you can do this and we will make one this evening. It's very exciting. So Glide can do a lot of different types of things. You know, if you are, you know, spreadsheet inclined, you can really build, I don't want to say like any kind of app, but you can build many types of apps using this sort of progressive web app feature. And just cycling through some of the examples that they have on their website, because they have tons of templates. If you just want to start with a template and be like, oh, I really need an employee directory for my firm, you know, you can literally just like go to their template page, make a copy, and then start updating your own content. So you can do like an employee directory. There is a flashcard functionality where they kind of copied the like Tinder swipe feature, where like there's a option where you can make things swipe. You can use it to order coffee, make like order, you know, not specifically coffee, but you can order like things from a restaurant, you can order things from a store. There's an integration with like credit card processors like Stripe, so you can literally take orders and fulfill them via this app. This one is funny to me. It's called Online Cinema, which is basically just like kind of like an info hub for different, if you're like really into watching trailers, I guess. Like I think this is supposed to be sort of a like a spin off of Letterboxd, where you can like review movies that you've seen, because there is a public comment feature once you make a profile. This one is like pretty informational based, so it's just a remote work toolkit. So, you know, instead of a spreadsheet of like, here's all the essentials for our remote work lifestyle, here's all the how-tos, here's all the stuff, like this is just put in an app. It can be a you know, a resource with links and stuff that click out. There's this really complex one that I really look at a lot for the different ways that cells and columns talk to each other. Called it's just a conference app. So you can sort by speakers, you can sort by topics, you can like favorite things and add them into your own schedule. You know, you can, I think, like leave comments like about the talk and stuff like that, have a little chat section. There's like a chat option you can do. It's a very, very cool one. Micro Life Institute that runs the Tiny House, the Tiny House Festival that was last fall, or it's every year. It was last fall. They kind of used this concept to make a festival guide for their festival in Decatur. And then you can, if you're going on a trip with a bunch of friends and you want to share, what is the address of the hotel, what's all the stuff we're doing, what's a bunch of friends made recommendations for stuff to go do, and we want to keep everything, and we want to keep all the recommendations together and kind of decide as a group what we want to be doing on this trip. You can use this template that I made and submitted to the store. So this one's a fun one. It uses a lot of different features in Google Sheets where it literally can pull in the current date, current time. So this one says like, you put in the date of your trip and it will say like, there are 10 days until your trip, are you ready? It'll fill in your name, it'll fill in your, I think the day of the week. So it says like, it's Wednesday, there's 3 days until your trip. All of the different things on this one, it's say like, here's where we're staying. It's like a picture of the place, the description, the address, and then a button to open it in Google Maps. There's a user specific packing list. And so like, let's say we're going to the beach. There's a lot of, high level things that like everyone's going to have to bring to the beach. You got to bring flip flops. You got to bring a sunscreen. You got to bring a sun hat. You have to bring other sun gear. You have to bring water, like any sort of like basic thing that everyone should have was in this list. And so you can check things off and they'll show like what's remaining and then what's done. So this is a template by yours truly. And then I actually have, and I should include, I'll include links to these at the end or while you all are working on your apps, but I have 2 that are on my phone that I use all the time. This one is, so this one's a funny one. It's like very personal to me, but I like to make cocktails at home. And I'm always like going to my recipe book and saying like, I want to make a something, and then going to my fresh ingredients, like my like fruit bowl or whatever, and being like, I want to make limes. Can I make something else now? My life is so hard. I gotta go make something else. So I have this list of all of the, I'm sure my phone. I have this list of all the different fruits or like fresh ingredients that you might need for a cocktail. So it's like, lemons, limes, oranges, pineapples for some reason. So like, let's say like, I know that I've got some mint that I have to use up, so this is all of the different recipes that use mint. So I might just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make that this evening. And then this is what it looks like. So I've got all the directions and stuff like that. If I don't have any fresh ingredients on hand, these are all the things that don't necessarily require a fresh ingredient, but they benefit from it. So maybe something that has like a lemon. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm showing this on my face. I'm just holding the phone up to the screen. So it's all that, like a lemon peel or something like that. And then I also have another one that tracks or keeps track of like all the different plants that are native to, or not native, but grow well in Georgia that a lot of local growers sell, like shrubs, perennials, vines, stuff like that. That one is actually, and I'll share my screen in a different way to show that really quick, because this spreadsheet is 800 items long. So let me change my screen. That one worked. So this is my huge spreadsheet for all these different plants that grow well in Georgia. You can see it, I'm still filling it in because it's 800 things long. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But what I'm doing is I'm like pulling photography for each one, trying to catalog their color, their category. I'm a little bit in over my head on this one. But when it's done, it will be cool and useful to me. Yeah, it's a fun one. So yeah, so you can either, I got a little carried away. I love making these apps. So you can either make an app for a client, for a group of people, whether that's friends or like donors or something like that, like people who want to engage with your thing or your project. It can be internal for, colleagues and coworkers and peers. It can just be a thing for friends. It can just be a thing for you. The nice thing is that using Glide, they have a free tier. So if you just want to do the basic stuff, you don't need to take credit cards. You don't need to restrict access. You can just use it for free. So the entire process is totally free. Do we have questions, comments, concerns on anything I've said so far? Cool. I'm gonna take that as a no. I'll take that as everyone's doing great. All right. So now we're gonna make an app. We're gonna make a neighborhood guide. This one's called a city guide, but it's a neighborhood guide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of walk through what these steps look like and then kind of back up to this slide. And then we can all go through it together, but I'll just give you kind of an overview of what we're gonna be working on. So first of all, you're gonna have to make an account on Glide. I think it's just glideapps.com. Yeah, glideapps.com. I will share that in the chat. And she'll make an account there. On their templates page, you'll see all the different templates I talked about earlier, but one in particular you will find is City Guide. This is a guide to amazing, yes. Internal CRMs this is a really good use for that for sure. All the different like tagging and sorting and stuff like that. So this is a guide to San Francisco. I think there are like 10 items in here to start. So that's why this is a really good one to sort of edit and learn from, because it can be complicated, but it's not that many things. It's not 845 plants, it's just 10 things. So it's a good one. So when you make a copy of the template and you open it in, it will go ahead and populate all the different pages. It will make you a Google spreadsheet with all this content. It will kind of just go ahead and get all the little bells and whistles and stuff set up for you. And this is what it will look like. Oh yeah, hang on. Okay, so you're gonna preview it. Then you're gonna say copy. Then it's gonna look like this. And then you have your editing page and all your stuff that you can see. So the 3 icons at the top are really important. They will show you which phase you are currently in of your app. The middle one, the one that's currently highlighted in the screenshot, is your app view. So this is, it's literally just like a screenshot of a phone. This is what it looks like on a phone. You can, click all the buttons on this screen are clickable. So it's like a kind of a fun way to test out where things are going to go, what they're going to look like, no matter what device you're on. If you go to this like icon on the left, this is going to be your spreadsheet view, which I'll kind of show you what that looks like. And then the icon on the right is your settings. So, what are your overall app colors going to be? What is your icon going to be when it's on someone's phone? You can upload your own art. You can use one of theirs. What are the different behaviors going to be? Is it going to always stay? Because we have kind of the opportunity to do like ambient light modes now. So is it going to go into dark mode in the evening? Is it going to not do that? You can control all these different like settings. Do you want to restrict access to only approved email addresses? That was really crucial for our group trip, because I wanted to talk about the group trip, but didn't want a bunch of strangers on the internet to know where I was staying. So I did restrict that one to the people going on the trip. So that is where you would control all that stuff. On the left side column of your kind of app view, you'll see all the different pages in your app. So these correspond to the buttons at the bottom. So you can see like all places, food and drink, attractions, learn. 2 of these are hidden. You'll see that chat and shopping cart are hidden just because they don't factor into this particular circumstance. I think they're included by default just if you want to use them, but you can turn them off if you don't want to use them. This one's really cool because for the map feature, you have the opportunity to kind of toggle this list or map view. It's just changing weird because my window size changed between screenshots. But so you can see like, I want to see a list, I want to see a map. back and forth forever. So let's go to the spreadsheet view. So this is basically pulling in from Google Sheets. Glide is interesting in that while it is pulling from Google Sheets, this spreadsheet view will be really important to do all of the other stuff. Like this is where you would manage your like specific users. If you're like, if you're like, I want a particular column to be user specific. So like if, you know, Becky favorites something, I don't want like Bob to also have that favorite show up. Like I want it to be user specific. And Glide would handle that kind of high level stuff. But for the most part, the data is going to be pulling directly from Google Sheets. This is kind of what that looks like. And then you can also see, you know, if you've ever made tabs on Google Sheets, you know, at the bottom of the spreadsheet, you'll see all these different tabs. This is just replicating that because the tabs kind of tell Glide these are like overall categories. Like I want all the attractions to be on one page, all of the different informational bits for learning about San Francisco, because that wouldn't really come in list form. That would probably come in like paragraphs of copy. I don't want that included in my list of attractions because that'd be weird. So this is going to come in separate tabs. And then you will see the source data at the bottom left. Glide has also very recently included support for Airtables. So if you have something built out completely in Airtable, it will also import the same way, but I just like using Google Sheets because it's free. So this is where, but if you're like, you know, I have a couple spreadsheets I'm working on with different pieces of information, and I'm not, I keep updating one and it won't update in the app, and I don't know why, this has happened to me. You can confirm the different data sources. So you can say like, oh, that's because it's pulling from the wrong sheet, so I have to update that. So then if you click on that link, you can open up the exact Google Sheet that it's pulling from and kind of add, update, change content from there. So what we're going to do for our demo is once you get to this page, you're going to change out the 10 things on this list. So you can see like Paxton Gate, I changed to Museum of Design Atlanta, MODA. And then when I go back to my app, it will have updated in the app screen. So now MODA is included in my San Francisco recommendations app. And you can also confirm that because if you go to the map, the like zoom out map view, you can see that there's like a bunch of locations in the Bay Area, and then a little dot on Atlanta. We have a hand raise, Tiffany.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I had to log in twice, so I missed like the initial portion of your demo. So can you like, so sorry, can you like help me walk through or like point me to where I could find where you are in Glide Apps?
Yeah. So this is sort of just like a high level walkthrough. I'm gonna like kind of start this over and then we'll go through it step by step. So I'll go through this again.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you.
Yeah. I just don't want to like, I have the tendency to just like dump a bunch of stuff and be like, okay, here's all the stuff. Are y'all ready? And then people are going, I'm not ready. So I'm going to try and just go through it quickly once, and then I'll go back through and then we'll all go through it together. Okay, questions so far? All right. Well, I've already shown this. So, and I'm going to go back to the original slide, but when I was working on this class, I just kept thinking of the visual of two kids in a trench coat trying to buy like a PG-13 movie ticket, because that's really how I feel about Glide. Glide really takes a Google sheet and then stands on top of it and puts a big trench coat on and says, we're an app. And that's because it really, like, if you are using it on your phone, it's indistinguishable from just like a regular app that you would find online. So I just kept thinking that this was very funny when I was working on this class. So I'm going to back on up. So, and I can put the music on kind of for this. No, do it. So we will. Okay, so let's say step one is you have made an account on glideapps.com, and I'll put that link back in the chat. And then when you have done that, please do a smiley face in the chat with that. Okay, I will turn these on. Oh, this is cool. I didn't specify the type of smiley face. Okay, so we got some smiley faces. Seems like mostly everyone's got the smiley face. Okay. If you have found the city guide in the template list, browser, that's a good question. Browser recommendations. I primarily work in Chrome, but I would assume, you know, Safari or Firefox would also be fine. Having trouble. Is it giving you what browser are you in? Let me share the what's this? Here's the templates. And then City Guide will be under hobbies and fun. It's the first one there.
Sarah, do we need to search for templates?
I just put the link in the chat to templates, but I'll put the link to the specific page where you can find that city guide. Then when you find city guide, please do an angel emoji in the chat. This is a fun way to do this. Okay. All right, seeing 5 angels. That's a good question. Is there an opportunity to grant it access to Google Sheets? Let me know some like error messages. It's like a connection issue. Let's see if that can help. Allie, how's it going? What are your issues?
Oh, it's being kind of stupid. It keeps telling me I need to log in with my Google account when I click on copy this template. And then I click sign in with Google and it just goes, oh, sheet, could not copy template. Which is, it's a cute error message, but it's not overly helpful.
I know, you're like, but I'm annoyed. Don't be cute.
Yeah. But I think it's because I have like basically everything turned off in Chrome, Like, I think it's because I don't have like any, like it's basically just incognito mode all the time. So I'm gonna try using a different browser window.
I noticed too that because I would log in and it was opening the template in a secondary tab, and then it would ask me to log back in. But when I clicked copy, it actually does have me logged in. So it was like some little quirk. If you have, you might see it as well if you have multiple tabs open. And that's in Chrome.
Okay. Interesting. Yes. Okay, let me pop that back in there. So the template category is back in the chat. Oh, okay. It would be glideapps.com/templates. Or if you just go to glideapps.com, you'll see it at the top left. All right, when you have been able, yeah, I think that's been happening. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. All right, when you have successfully made a copy, please use the Halloween pumpkin emoji. And if you are having trouble making a copy of the template or finding the template.
Yeah, hi, I'm having trouble still. I apologize. This is Diane.
Okay.
I'm on my iPad and my Zoom is on a computer and I'm on a screen that says my team and I've got the panel on the side for apps, but I don't see anything. It just says new project.
Okay, let me get to the screen that you're on. Okay, so on that page, you should be able, I think Melissa may have mentioned this, so you'll see like new project, you can scroll down to start from a classic template and then click on, the bottom of that page, click on view all, and then it will take you to that templates page.
View all, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Did that one come up?
Yeah, now I'm on the templates page now, thank you.
Cool. And then it'll be on the left-hand side under hobbies and fun, you will see city guide. seeing a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of Halloween oh, that's pumpkin pie. Y'all doing pumpkin pie? Savage. Okay.
Hi, so I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I'm following the steps and I get to city guide, but at the top it's asking me to log in. So it's like once I click on templates, it kicks me out of login. Is that okay?
Okay. Let me see. Is it, what page am I on? You, is it showing like login and sign up at the top right? But do you see like a copy and a preview button?
At the top?
If you click on City Guide,
Yes,
where it
I
has
see
like kind of the
copy.
overview,
I see it.
and click copy.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't, it's weird. I guess that's like, I guess this is like the public kind of like marketing page and it doesn't really know if you're logged in, but if you click copy, it should take you to that like builder platform, which should know that you're logged in. Okay, so we copied, working on copying. All right. So I imagine the people who entered in the Halloween pumpkin emoji or the pumpkin pie emoji are probably clicking on this page. When you are able to open the source spreadsheet in Google Sheets, this one down here, when you are able to do that, please share with me an emoji of a unicorn. Okay. All right, unicorn folks, start updating your entries. Yep, start doing edits. I'm gonna feed my dog really quickly and then I will come back and troubleshoot some of the like login access stuff real quick. So I'll be back in 5 seconds when my dog is happy and eating. Okay, I'm back. Oh, yeah, I'm back. Okay, Tiffany, I saw that you requested access. It should be a spreadsheet of your own. So if you want to take a, let's see, if you want to screen share, I can probably like look through it with you.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay.
It says I can't start screen sharing. Oh, there we go. Let me try again.
Yeah, let me see what you got.
You see my screen?
Yeah, okay.
Probably seeing mad tab.
So,
Sorry.
oh, I see. Okay, at the top right, click on copy this template.
So then I get this and I can sign in, but it booted me out last time, so I can try again.
Yeah.
You want me to sign in again?
Yeah. Can you do you have like a Google account?
Yeah, I have multiple. So the two that popped
can-
up were the two I have. Yeah.
Click on sign in with Google, or does it pop up in a separate window?
Wait, say that again?
Click on sign in with Google.
Okay. So these are my two accounts.
Okay. Either one is probably fine.
I probably have pop-ups
Oh.
turned off. I don't know quite how to turn those on. I can try to sign in with my email. I think it'll send another prompt though to my email address, to be honest. Yeah. So I just went in the email on my phone and click sign in. I should probably do that on my laptop. Let me try to do it on my laptop. again.
Gabby has a tip to go to the tab box in your search bar with the red X. Oh, I see it up there. Up in your URL bar, that one. Yes.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Okay. So let me go. I'm just going to close out of that. Click copy template. Sign in with Google. Oh, maybe I'll try to sign in again. Allow.
Okay, copy this template.
Oh, it works. Good deal. Thank you.
Woo!
Amazing. We got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Gabby, for the troubleshooting. All right. You're welcome to, yeah. Amazing. With our powers combined. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of unicorns. Of course. It's a very hands-on workshop. I'm like, let's just do it. Okay, last step. Okay, so you clicked copy template. And it sounds like it may prompt you to log in again, but then once you do that, it should show up with the editing page. And Dinah, if you want to screen share as well, or yeah, unicorn. Okay. Okay, so we are editing the spreadsheet that we accessed from the source data. And I will give y'all a minute to do that because there are 10 things I would like you to fill in. And I will go back to SpongeBob. I guess maybe I won't.
How do I get to the spreadsheet?
Yeah, great question. I'll take off a picture of the children in trench coat. Okay, so on these three, you see these three icons in your editing page in Glide. You'll click on the one on the left, and then this little source data link at the bottom left. You'll click on that Google Sheet name. Cool. That is a good question. Will the recording be sent via email? We are recording this workshop. So what I can definitely check with Tiffany, but I think we can share this in the MyMODA platform.
That is correct.
Cool.
Yes, Sarah.
Cool.
We'll be sharing this
Yeah.
by MyMODA. So Sarah's correct.
Mhm.
And that will be emailed to everyone as a reminder once it's up on MyMODA.
Cool. And also, if you know, if you are like, I want to make all the apps, I have questions, I want to make things, the MyMODA platform will be a really good place to talk about that, because there's a like a chat room for this specific class. So if you like want to share a link to the app that you made, or just want to ask a question, you know, that is a really good place for doing that. So I'll definitely want you guys to share your links in that chat there this evening, and I can share some favorite ones as well. So when we have the data source sheet open, what do we do? There are currently 10. Let me turn this SpongeBob music down. There are currently 10 items in that list that are pre-populated, that are San Francisco things. What I would like you to do is switch it out with 10 locations of your choice. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Holly. So that is a really good question. Okay. So let me see a good way to demo this. In a perfect world, you will, you know, like sometimes the photography is easy to come by. You know, if you're pulling a picture from like a hotel website or something, you can do that. So yay, that's good. Favorite Cisco spots. The way that I like to do this quickly, and you know, this is best for, you know, apps for personal use, because you're using somebody else's photography. I will kind of show you what that looks like. You know, ideally it is your own art and your photography, but if you're just making a thing for yourself, I'm sure it's fine. So let's say, oh, I think this is an example to do the flowers. So currently I'm going through and adding images of all these different plants to this spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I want a picture of the Delmara orange ice plant. So I'm going to look up a picture of it and say, like, you know, I want to get a good vibe for what this plant is when I've forgotten what it was later. So maybe this one, because it's kind of pretty. You can, I don't know if this shows up on the screen share, but you can right click on it. You'll see a prompt that's that either is or is similar to copy link address. And then you can paste it into the cell. So you can either go to the website itself, copy image address, and put it in there. But you can even see that this link ends in .jpeg, which means it is the link to the direct image. So that's what Glide is going to be pulling. Is it's going to go to this link. It's going to go to this address and say, like, what's here? I'm going to use this as my picture. So that's a long-winded way of saying right click on it, get copy image address. This also works for if you have like a bunch of photography in Dropbox, you can grab, or like Google Drive or something, you can grab the specific image link from like if you've done like a bunch of illustration work for your app or something, you can grab the Dropbox link of the image or the Google Drive link of the image, as long as it's got like a home somewhere that you can link to. That's how you'll do it. And so it sounds like we are moving right along. So we have 2 kids in a trench coat. Fine, maybe 2 kids. What is the very last column? That's a good question. That might be the user specific one. Let me take a look.
First IGTV vlog and get. Check out this verbo. Oh, look at me.
Okay, Gabby, you said, what is the very last column? Is that the one that says social? Or is that the one that's is it in Glide or is it in Google Sheets?
Oh, it's in the in Glide. It says like status and it has like an A with a little arrow.
Okay. So the ones with the green, let me go back to sharing. I'll just like have other slides. Really, they're just gonna be in here. Back to Glide. Okay. So anything that has a green icon is something that's going to be specific to Glide. So it's going to be like some sort of advanced thing that Google Sheets either can't do or isn't doing for this particular use. So what this one is, the column type is it's a template. So it's basically saying for every time that for like whatever distance is, put it there, and then every time I type H, put hours. So it's kind of taking two columns of data and putting them in one place. So let's an example. So I'm going to make a column on the right that's like phone template, and we're going to make the template. We're going to say the phone number for X is Y. So every time I say X, I want it to be the name of the place. And then every time I say Y, I want it to be the phone number. So then it's going to fill in all the stuff around it. Does that make sense?
It does. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. You can really get and so this is basically doing similar stuff. So this is a column that generates distances between addresses automatically. This is one that's doing math. It looks blank anyways, it's fine. But that's basically what this means. It's filling in templated information. Oh, I've been clicking on this one, so it's gonna be weird looking. Okay. So if you are, and I can just sort of have this up and be kind of clicking through and answering questions. Because really the remainder of the slides are just like, here's how you can take it and like make it into something really different and specific to your needs. And just like some things that I think are useful that come up. So once you have your data, let's say, so you can see the one from my screenshot, it's, Museum of Design Atlanta. Let's say I really want to focus on the phone number, the template that we just made, like the phone number for this specific one. And I'm just gonna kind of break this template a little bit, but let's say like I'm gonna make it into a list. So it has, it no longer has this map feature. It's just gonna be a list. And then I'm like, okay, I wanna start playing with this list a little bit. Like I want to say the name of the place. Instead of a summary, I want it to say the phone number. and I want to allow text wrapping. Because let's say like I'm really into area codes and like I want to see what all the area codes are in these places. And then I want to put their phone number again. So it's going to be duplicated. You know, you can start like toggling all of the different things. Let's say like I don't want it to be a list, I want it to be a tile where I want the images to be really big. And I want them to take up the whole page with their phone number and see the pictures really big. You know, if you don't want pictures at all, you can just say you know, no image. Oh, I guess tile kind of requires it, but you can say I don't want any pictures at all because I hate pictures. I don't want to look at them. So really, you can start kind of just exploring, you know, what makes sense for you, kind of how this is going to work. Yeah, I hate pictures. You know, the swipe feature I've never really found like a great use for. I think the whole idea is if you wanted to like roll your own Tinder or something. But you can add cards, you know, things that you like click into, play around with. So let me just go back to this like list page for food and drink. So you'll have this full list. So this is everything that is categorized as food and drink in your spreadsheet. And then, wait, I was certainly going somewhere with that. I don't know where I was going with that. Are there questions? Adding form functionality. Oh, I was going to talk about the detail page. Okay. Can you let me know what you mean by adding form functionality?
Yeah, no, I just saw when you were on, maybe it was under like, oh no, go back to where you just were. Oh, it was edit form. I thought I saw somewhere that it was like add a form, but basically I'm interested in knowing like if I wanted to allow like members of the public to interact with whatever I'm building. Like let's say I wanted them to be able to like add to my city guide, or like if I was doing like a trip planner like you showed, like how would I set it up to allow other people to interact?
Yeah, that's a great question. Three things to note on that. One of the weird downsides of progressive web apps that I'm sure is not going to last long, because I think it's like a permissions issue, is that iOS blocks or does not allow push notifications for progressive web apps. Android does. So if you are like in a chat thing, then someone with an iPhone may not get that notification unless they're looking. So just one thing to know there. As far as interacting with the app, there are kind of two ways to do that. One might be, so you can add all these different components with this little plus sign. Let's say you want to add like a comment button. You can click a little comment button, add that here, move it up to the top because we want comments on top. And then this is something that becomes user specific to everybody. So like I can say, I love the Golden Gate Bridge, and you can comment back and say, I hate the Golden, you know, whatever your comment would be on that. Or there's a way to add content from the app in particular. And what I'll do for that, and this is sort of a sneak preview of our meal planning workshop. That's meal planning app workshop that is next month. But the way this one works is you can enter in all of your different recipes that you want to cook for the week. It will generate a shopping list for you. But if you're on the go and you want to enter in a recipe, you can generate a form. This is basically like, it kind of is a Google form. Like it will, all these different like input boxes correspond to different columns on your spreadsheet. So you can say like, I want to make potatoes and I want to spell it right, you know, You know, if you want to include, yeah, we just nothing, just a potato. That's it. You know, if you want to take a picture of the book, if you want to, like the recipe book where you got your potato recipe or something like that, you can include that. And then you can submit it. And then if all goes well, yeah. So then it will show up in your app as just another line in this spreadsheet. So you can see that it shows up in the spreadsheet list as a thing. So you can and this could be something that users can do. This could be something for you, because it can be a little tedious to just like open up Google Sheets and start entering stuff in. So I liked the ability on this one to be able to enter in your own recipes. You absolutely should make an app for your wedding. That'll be very cool. How is everyone's apps going? We have about 13 minutes left, so I want to make sure everyone feels like they are able to get somewhere. Oh, actually, I want to answer questions, but I also want to tell you when you're done and you want to use your app, because that's why we're here, to make apps we can use. You can click on the publish link on the top right corner, publish your app. Publishing, it will give you the opportunity, it will generate like a link for you, but you can enter in your own link as long as it's not taken, your own like URL for your app. So you can say like, you know, chaotic city guide .glideapp.io. So either this link will work, you can text someone this link, you can post this link online, or you can scan this QR code to pull it up. When you do that, the first time you open up a progressive web app like Glide on your phone, it will prompt you to save it to your home screen. And when you do that, it will take away the like browser stuff. And then so any other time you open it, it will look like an app. So that would be how you publish your app. You're done. And I do want y'all to publish how far you've gotten, even if it's not done yet. I'm looking for another emoji. And when you feel like you're getting the hang of it, please share the top hat emoji. And I will just keep clicking on things. And obviously, please stop me if you have questions or want to troubleshoot anything. All right, first top hat of the evening, second top hat. You can change all the colors, you can change the different typefaces. You want to, you know, mess with your login screen. It's using Markdown. It's I think officially it is, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's hard to edit Google Sheets on an iPad for sure. So for the Learn page, I think functionally it's using Markdown, but you can basically just like apply different like headers and footer rules to the different things, and that way they're consistent throughout. So you don't have a lot of control over like, I want the header to be a certain point size. You're just saying I want it to be bigger than the subheader. But that's also nice for consistency. Nice. If you would like to share the link to your app, would love to see it. I will not share it on screen sharing unless you want me to. Are there spaces in your link, Diana? Hmm. What are you entering in as the name for the app? Hmm. Yes. It might be the iPad. It might be adding a space or something weird. In Learn. Oh, it's a gallery. Okay. So like you want to change out the different pictures? So that would be handled on this side. So you want to delete them or change them out? So if you in the Learn tab, if you want to change or delete those images, that would be over back in the spreadsheet. It's just pulling these three images. So you can either delete them or you can add. Oh Lord. Add a different picture. But if I just wanted this one picture of the puppy, I can just delete that guy. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. Anyone want to go over anything or share their app before 8? Okay, that is a good question. No, because if you are, so the question in the chat is it better to use a URL to an image or upload an image? Technically, they become the same thing. If you upload an image from the app, it will, I think, add to Google Drive and create a link from it. So it's kind of working the same way. Let's see, I can confirm that with the meal planner. Awesome. Thank you, Sonia. I hope this was helpful. It automatically saves itself. Yeah. It I wouldn't say like instantaneous sync. Sometimes you may have to manually sync it if you're working back and forth really quickly between the spreadsheet source and the app itself. But anything that is, if you're just like only working in the spreadsheet, you don't have to manually republish it. It'll stay there.
Are you still there? I have a quick question.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
checking the thing. What's that?
No, I was actually watching about the photograph, how to upload it. I was trying to figure out how to put in my own photograph when it's asking for a URL. So how do you upload a photograph to a spreadsheet? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Where are you grabbing, or what photo do you want to use? Is it from like Google?
I have photos on my own device. That's what I was thinking of, but I thought I couldn't do that because I had to take it from a URL. No, my photos aren't behind a URL. So
Yeah. If you do you use like really any particular way you can get it online somehow gives it a URL. So you can use, like, if you use Dropbox or Google Drive, that would
Okay.
work.
I got it. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I thought I was trying to figure out how to avoid that. So I got that. Okay. Any way I can get it to URL. You have to have a URL basically.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
If you have like, like a blog or something, you can post it on a blog post,
No, I don't.
and
It's
grab the
okay.
link that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get a URL for it and use the URL. Gotcha.
Mhm. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Liz.
Sarah, I know we're jumping off, but I just wanted to jump in and say thank you. This is really cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I can't wait to start making my first app.
Yeah, please. I mean, definitely please share the link in MyMODA. This is one of my favorite things. So I would love to be all make.
Awesome.
Also, just to confirm, I took a picture of my cup, and put it in the meal planner app, and it makes its own link under like storage.google APIs or something. So it seems pretty private. But that's a picture of this cup that I just took. So that also generates a URL for it.
Tell me again how you did that.
So this is just an example from this other app that we're technically going to go over next month. But it has the option to upload photos, and I'll show you how to do that. So on this button, you open a form. I'm getting ahead of myself. But in the form, there's a way to upload a photo.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, this is for next month. Amazing. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Very excited to see all the apps. And I'm more than happy to hang out for a second. I will stop sharing the screen. Yeah, definitely happy to hang out for a little bit. If y'all have questions as you work or want to hang out. Thank you. If you had a good class, please use the star emoji. And they're still here. Yay! Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. The video recording will be available on MyMODA. We just have to process that video and get the thumbs up from Sarah, and we'll also just make that available, and that should be emailed to you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have follow-up questions for Sarah, you're welcome to add them in the MyMODA conversations chat or email Sarah directly. Sarah, did you want to share your email for follow-up questions at all?
Yeah, of course.
Up in the chat.
If y'all have follow-up questions, there's my email.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope to see you in person at MODA and also at future virtual events. Check out MyMODA to see what those are. And there's also hopefully more, well, actually there's the Mill app workshop coming. So you can check that out.
And we will talk about uploading pictures.
Yes. So stay tuned for the next workshop. We're excited to have all of you there for the next workshop and more. So thank you so much. Good night. Thanks, Sarah. I'll go ahead and end it here. Do you want me to end the Zoom here? Awesome.
Sounds good.
Hang out with
I
your
know,
doggy.
yeah.
I said the same thing, but I was on
I know
mute.
I went and fed her. She's off sleeping somewhere now.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Have a good evening.
Have a good night. Good night.